Let's talk about building successful teams. What are the things you need to put in place to ensure that you build for yourself or your company a power team that can move your organization from where it is to where you really desire it to be? First, you need to create the roles, define your roles and the responsibilities attached to each role. One of the things that is very common in organizations is that you give a role where the responsibilities are gray and you just add things as you go by. But defining responsibilities help everyone to know what is expected of them per time, what is needed for maximum output, and who ought to do what. Two, select the most fitted candidate, not the cheapest to hire. You may think you're saving costs when you go for the cheapest, but what you're doing is that you are picking up someone who may not necessarily be able to deliver what you want. Sometimes the cheapest candidate may also be the most fitted. However, let money not be the criteria for picking who you should employ, but skills. The next is equip the employee with the requisite knowledge. You have employed this person. Yes, they have work experience from wherever they're coming from. But there's a way you do things in your organization. There's a way you prefer things to be delivered. So train the person, teach the person, guide. This is how we do things. This is how this is prepared here, and this is who does that. Also, trainings and resources should not be, ordered. You need to release resources that are needed. Release more than is needed so that the person continuously has what they can refer to as they progress in their career. Next, delegate the needed power to the employee in order to function adequately. If you ask someone to do something and you do not equip them for it, they get stuck because they have to depend on too many people. Too much bureaucracy in an organization causes prolonged processes and unsatisfied customers. So equip people, delegate authority, delegate power. When employees know that they have the power to do XYZ, they are able to act without having to always wait for the line end. Don't micromanage or give all power to one person, because when that person is unavailable, work stops. Next, set clear duties and performance tracking system. How do you track someone who is performing? It should not be by sentiments. Let it be clearly defined. Let objectives be clearly stated so that people don't feel that the organization is promoting politics. Because the moment your employees or team members begin to feel that you are picking people for promotion or recognition based on your personal preference, they begin to give less than their best. So you need to always ensure that things are clearly defined, whereby anybody can assess an employee and still arrive at the same conclusion. The next is to prioritize continuous training. Training cannot be overemphasized. As a person works, you begin to identify the weaknesses of each individual employee. So when you identify these weaknesses, equip them with the requisite training for them to develop those areas. And trainings also includes soft skills, communication skills, business etiquette, and skills, technical skills, and also trainings outside of the organization. I know that these days everybody is moving a lot to online trainings, but while you're trying to cut back on resources through online trainings, there are some trainings that are needed to take the employee far in their career, especially within your organization, which they may learn from other partner organizations outside or institutions. So leverage on these things. The next is to acknowledge your employees' efforts. Recognition is very important. When someone does a good job, notice it, appreciate it, comment on it. The same way you would vocally speak, bring it up if the person underperforms. When that person performs, acknowledge it too. Not only when the person overperforms, even when the person delivers. And I would add to that, let people know that they are needed. Let people know that their input is appreciated. Don't treat your employees like things you can dispose at any time. Yes, there are a lot of people out there looking for a job, but when you bring in a new person, consider the time it will take you to train that person and to bring the person even up to the level of the employee you have within the organization. So it is better to make the people you have within feel loved, welcomed, and appreciated, so that they continue to put in their best. Employees function better when they feel like they are part of the organization. Next, understand that everyone in the organization should be accountable. And by everyone, that includes you. Whether you are the CEO, whether you are the team lead, whether you are even the board of director, everyone is accountable to someone. As the team members are accountable to the team lead is accountable to the leadership or management team. The management team is accountable to the board of directors, accountable to the compliance officers. Even the board of directors is accountable to someone. If you are running a one-man show, it's your personal business, have mentors or coaches that you are accountable to, even for the way you run your business, because it keeps everybody on their toes, delivering their best. And lastly, reward good performance. Let the criteria for rewards and recognition be clear. Let the criteria for promotion be clear. When people know what they need to do to move to the next level, they work towards doing it. And it builds trust in the organization when you say something and you keep to it. But when the requirements for promotion or recognition is gray, employees feel uninterested and they begin to look outwards. So I hope that with this, you can go ahead to build you a better team this year. I remain your personal development coach, Fumi Bitoye.